Welcome back to our Elul liturgical reflections. These are the structure which form our journey through the month of Elul, which is the month which precedes Rosh Hashanah. And this year, for our journey through the month of Elul, 3 times a week, we're sharing some readings that were written by our members in 2020 and 2021 in particular. That liturgy was created because we weren't able to be physically together, but we were able to contribute in other ways. And so I spent some time with our members teaching about Tichines and Piyutim. And today's reading, which comes from Tzippi Mazulis, really comes from the structure of the Tichines themselves. So this is a Tichina written by Tzippi Mazulis. God, I know I haven't the power to change the past, other people, or the truth. But today is all mine. It is here, it is now, just waiting for all I can give it. I wake up with a heart that can't wait to get up, to get out, to choose life. Tzippi writes of this Tichina. I wrote this when Rabbi taught us what Tichines were and how to write them. I'm not a writer, yet to my surprise I wrote this from the heart. I learned that the Tichines are a book of prayers written in Yiddish by women many years ago in Amsterdam. As I was brought up in a household where Yiddish was spoken, and knowing the prayers were in Yiddish meant a little more to me somehow. I am proud of those ladies. I have learned from them to speak from my heart. Why did I pick the first phrase? I haven't the power to change the past. Because I am a proud 12-step person who sincerely believes that God has all power. I do not have the power to change anything but myself. I can always count on the divine force, quality, and influence of God over the universe or over God's creatures. As I read this again, do I feel the same as when I wrote it? You bet I do. I do think of my ancestors and how they had to choose life, struggling and all. They believed they chose to choose to be happy. It's the Jewish way. COVID brought isolation and sickness and fear. Also a time to ponder life, to pray for a life that is full once again. I think of myself as I was growing up and believing that my personal New Year and my prayers for the High Holy Days were to either pick life or not. It's a choice and my commitment. That's something I've believed in all my life. And what a time being isolated and confined to really think about that. As a person who has lived beyond 80 years, I know that we have a choice. We can choose to keep moving and to keep engaging as we play this wonderful game of life, and we hope to play nice with each other. Hopefully we can enjoy each human who enters our life, each moment of good and bad, each day to get up and be ready to enjoy this life, a wonderful life that God gives us. So Tzippi shares this wonderful piece, and Tzippi wrote a number of pieces, all of which are very concise in their form, where some of our pieces have been longer poems and pieces of liturgy. Tzippi's style is in that really concise wording that really strikes us with each and every word. The Tichines were indeed these Yiddish prayers that were written mainly by women in Europe, often in Amsterdam, where one book of Tichines in particular was published, between about the 16th and the 19th centuries. And they were private, personal prayers, which were different to Piyutim. Piyutim were liturgical poems that were based off pieces of liturgy, whereas Tichines were sometimes based on the Bible, sometimes based on the liturgy, and sometimes they were just prayers in and of themselves, but they were written very specifically from a woman's perspective. And so writing this Tichina as Tzippi has written, this really seems to me to be a Tichina of affirmation. And I think affirmation is really important during the High Holy Days, because it's very easy to be very hard on ourselves. It's very easy to lament and say, I've done wrong, I'm a terrible person. But Tzippi, in her Techina here, really refocuses us, especially during this month of Elul, and says, no, we can't change the past, we can't change other people, we can't change the truth, but, however, we do have power, and that power is really important during the month of Elul. Today is all mine, says Tzippi. It's here, it's now, just waiting for all I can give it. I love the potentiality here. I love the promise, the looking forward, the ability to say whatever has happened in the past is done. But today is still a gift. Today is still rife with the power of teshuvah, of self-transformation, of atonement, of returning to our true selves. And so Tzippi's Techina of affirmation, as I call it, ends with this line, I wake up with a heart that can't wait to get up, to get out, to choose life. Choose life. Uvecharta v'chayim. This is the choice that's given to us in the book of Deuteronomy. It's a choice that's given to us in the High Holy Day readings, that we can choose the other way. But it is still always a choice, regardless of what has happened in the past. Today is still a choice. We still have the ability to choose life and blessing. So I really like the way that Tzippi frames it in a tiered way. First, I wake up with a heart that can't wait to get up, to get out, to choose life. I really feel that progress in the way that Tzippi writes this. Because when we get up in the morning, we're bleary-eyed, we are immediately faced with the tasks of the day. But then Tzippi says to get out. The task isn't just to be ourselves in our home. It's not just, like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, to be pious in a cave. It's to get out and make that choice, that third level, to choose life. Because when we wake up in the morning, life has chosen us, and we're thankful for that. We're thankful for the fact that we have life. We're thankful that we can then get up. But after that, that's the automated, that's the motor response almost. Then we have the moral choice to choose life. So for me, this Techina really speaks in a very active, dynamic way that I think is really important for us for the month of Elul, that inspires us every day during this month of Elul to get up, to get out, and to choose life. The blessing for the shofar is a blessing that thanks God who commands us to hear the sound of the shofar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. I wish you Shabbat Shalom. I invite you to join us for our Kabbalat Shabbat service and also for our Shabbat Shacharit service tomorrow. Our study session tomorrow is on the Book of Life, looking at biblical and rabbinic sources on the Book of Life. And I really encourage you to join us for that because it's such an important metaphor for the High Holy Days, and we'll be wrestling with that metaphor. And then particularly I invite you to join us for our Salichot service tomorrow evening. And that service is a different experience this year. We'll be showing a movie which has a very strong teshuvah theme, a theme of repentance and coming together and learning how to be with other people. And then we'll be following it with our Salichot service itself. The movie starts at 7:30. We encourage you to get there just before that. And we'll continue our Salichot service. We'll be about 9 o'clock, maybe just after that. And we'll conclude about 9:30, 9:45. We do encourage you to join us for that. It's a very special service, which includes changing the Torah covers from their multicolored covers to their white covers as we really prepare, as we really get close to the end of the month of Elul and really prepare for Rosh Hashanah. So I wish you a day and a Shabbat of getting up, getting out and choosing life. And I wish you Shabbat Shalom.